Thank you very much. Yaroslav Dagopol, Ukraine Foreign News Agency, Ukraine. So I actually have two questions. The first one is about Nadiya Savchenko. Russian court continues to illegally detain her, and we know she is a parliamentary of Ukrainian parliament. She is a delegate of Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Now she is in a hunger strike. So the State Department has previously called on Russia to release her, but there is no reaction from the Russian side. Are you going to press Russia to release Ms. Savchenko, and what policy tools could be employed for this process by the United States? And the second question is about the Minsk agreement. What is the U.S. government's position regarding the implementation of the Minsk II? Do you agree that the elections on Donbass should be held after the Ukrainian side gained the full control over all its territory? Thank you.
Excuse me. Your first question was about Nadiya Savchenko. As you know, the United States has been deeply concerned about the health and welfare of Nadiya Savchenko for many months of detention and captivity. And now again, with her recent decision to again go on a hunger strike to protest her detention, we remain deeply disturbed by the Russian Federation's decision to move forward with what we have always believed to be a baseless case, and believe the only true justice would be to dismiss the charges against Nadiya Savchenko and return her immediately to her homeland, Ukraine, which is, in answer to your second question, which is a commitment Russia made when it signed the Minsk agreements. So we call on Russia to honor its commitments and release all of the Ukrainian hostages it is holding. And that includes Oleh Sentsov, it includes Alexander Kolchenko, and Gennady Afanasyev, and I apologize if I didn't pronounce that name correctly. I don't want to talk about what possible actions we may take. You know, our sanctions on Russia remain in place. The most recent ones are contingent on full implementation of the Minsk agreements. So until we get to that point in time, we're not in a position to lift those sanctions. With regard to your question about the timing or sequencing in terms of elections, I don't want to really get into addressing any kind of sequencing. I think what we want to see, obviously, is a full implementation of Minsk, but the most immediate pieces of that are a durable, credible ceasefire. We've seen repeated violations of the ceasefire by separatists, Russian-backed separatists, over the past months. We want to see an actual ceasefire take place. Then we want to see access for OSCE monitors who can then monitor that ceasefire to ensure that it stays in place. They still don't have full access, and that remains a significant challenge. And then, as you said, lastly, the reestablishment of Ukraine's rightful international border. We obviously, though, want to see all aspects of Minsk ultimately implemented, but I would say those are the priorities, if you will. We also want to see the Ukrainian government move ahead, continue to move ahead on the difficult political and economic reforms it's undertaking. So there's a lot to be done. There's a lot on the agenda in order to get to a place where we can say that Minsk is fully implemented, but we need to see more progress.